Hello and welcome to another episode of the HLS Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ritter. You can call me ND Tex, and as always, you can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you happen to find your podcasts at. And of course, you can find us also at anchor.fm/HerLoyalSons, where you can support the show as well as leave us a voicemail if you so wish. Join us in Discord. That is our live chat channel, HerLoyalSons.com/Discord. Of course, you can always find us at our home at HerLoyalSons.com. With that said, it is time to bring in Eddie. Eddie, how are you doing, my friend?
Ryan, what's good, my man? It only sounds a little underwater right now. I'm hoping it's because the music intro is still going, but we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, so it may sound underwater on your end. So basically,
oh, there you are.
Oh, there I am now. Oh goodness, this is.
It's the damn bagpipes.
Oh man,
we're good.
I'm terrified now. I'm really hoping this works out. Maybe I have to re-record the intro. Who knows? We will see. So we're always. It's mostly my psychosis here, folks. I hear buzzing in the audio, and I want to get rid of it. I forever will blame Ty Hildenbrandt for giving me advice on when I asked him on how to do things, which may have been both a good and terrible idea all at the same time. But regardless, our backup of all things is going to be Twitch, and what could possibly go wrong there, Eddie, for Twitch being the backup for the audio?
I mean, probably everything, but, technology.
Yeah, technology. It could never possibly go wrong. So that's what we're going to do here today, folks. We're going to try and see how it sounds. We will roll with it as best we can. But I guess that's a good way to describe week one. Eddie, I hope you had a better week on the actual scoreboard than ours, because it was rough for both of us.
I tell you what, Gambler reminded me real quick how bad this can go. Between the Northwestern just absolute clusterfuck, and then Oregon, all Auburn had to do was kick a field goal. Everybody would have been happy. And maybe, I don't know, 6 seconds after I tweeted, hey, Auburn, maybe just go for the kick, they score an insane touchdown. There were some bad beats. It was not good to already be on the SVP Bad Beats Monday Night montage. But I'm hoping to avoid last year where I was on like 60% of them for the first month of the season.
Well, I was right there.
I'm hoping that's just ball in the water on the first hole.
Yeah, we definitely put a couple balls in the water. And last week, for our little thing here, you gained another game on me. You went 3-6. I went 2-7. My week actually went much better on the actual score sheet, despite those bad beats. It could have been much better. But I will take. I figure I sacrificed everything on our pick'em for that week, and in the actual HLS pick'em, Eddie, I'm dead last, and I'm saying I'm dead last because the only people I'm above right now are people that either joined late or forgot to put in picks, which the worst 2 weeks are dropped. So if you go over to herloyalsons.com/pick'em, you still have a chance to go ahead and get in on it. So it is not too late there. Man, I hope this week gets dropped, but congratulations to Davey Dave, who went 20-4. Sir,
God,
I hope you played
America.
I hope you played every single pick. We had quite a few folks that went well over 500. I was very, very surprised. The pick'em it's serious this year. The prize package has gone up. My performance is not quite matching it, and I'm really hoping we get back on there. And we have quite a slate in front of us. I decided to pick a few more fun spreads because there are some that are way too interesting. And Shane's in the chat. Hey Shane, you can tell us if our audio sucks live.
Shane
yeah. So we're gonna have quite a few games, some fun ones, some random ones. But it should all be a good time. But Eddie, I haven't gotten to talk to you really seriously yet since week one. How are you feeling right now?
About football or about Notre Dame? Because those are very different conversations.
About Notre Dame. We're going to go to the Irish side here.
Well, I feel a lot better about my underplay. I'm really not looking forward to the Georgia game because I think that they're going to run for about 500 yards. I'm really concerned about the fact of how familiar Ian Book's terrible footwork, general skittishness, and floating balls to short routes looked, because it reminded me of a time that I don't want to go back to. And it's weird how the inspiration for all of that is his quarterback's coach now.
Oh boy.
I
I
will
was waiting
say
for it. I was waiting for the Tommy Rees poke.
I'm a little nervous about the offense. The defense, okay, they settled down after the first two drives.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton is, in fact, the next coming of Deion Sanders. I'm fully on board. I can't wait for him to be a 19-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Heisman winner, 6-time Thorpe Award winner. How? I don't know. He's just that good. Good God, the linebackers are absolute trash.
They got some work to do.
Your interior lines scared the hell out of me. You know, we all know how good Aquara and Khalid are, but it's like when you're playing with a younger cousin in NCAA or Madden, and they don't really understand what offsides means. So they just jump down past the line of scrimmage like 4 seconds before you snap. Like, those guys were so hyped up. Oh, buddy.
Oh man,
I'm very concerned. I'm glad that we have a week off now, and then ostensibly another week off against a Bob Davey-less New Mexico, because he's a coward. Oh yeah, health scare. Not buying it. Same amount of a health scare that Urban Meyer had when he left for Florida.
got a tinfoil hat on, huh, bud?
No, this isn't tinfoil. I just think he's a coward.
It's great
before the 3 people listening actually take this seriously. That's mostly a joke.
The best part is you got spiciest about Bob Davey, who's not going to be there. I must say you're taking 1-0 in stride, which sounds very weird to say, but I mean, it was rough. We didn't cover, and as we all know, great teams cover.
No, we sure as shit didn't cover, and we definitely didn't hit the team over.
Those are some oddly specific complaints, sir.
A fantastic 2-yard pass to Chris Fink on a 4th and 5.
Now I always know why those plays are in the playbook, but I would be happy as a football fan if I never saw one of my teams call one again like that.
It's just painful to watch.
It's a bad idea. Too many things have to go right in a game where we well know too many things can go wrong, because we saw 3 fumbles in a row, for crying out loud.
Sure. That all being said, it was still a 3-score win on the road with a weird situation. I'm not buying into the, Louisville is rejuvenated because their coach doesn't outwardly hate the players, because I still don't think they're a good team. But, you know, I'm sure everyone has already listened to the Rakes app. If they haven't, they should. If they don't subscribe, they definitely should. To the Rakes report. The winning is hard montage was very good to read, because, you know, we're not Tennessee. We didn't lose to Georgia State.
They may or not be appearing for the first time on our board because of that shit.
Yeah, we didn't lose a starting quarterback. We did lose a starting running back, which is not ideal. So that's not great, but it was still a win. We're not going to get too angry about a 3-score win just yet, so long as quick improvement is shown next weekend. If Ian Book still looks like shit next week, this could be a problem.
Yeah, it's you will start seeing me panic as well. Well, we will not relive in the past, because we are looking to the future. We are enjoying our hot dog bye week right now. We are going to relax. We are not going to have to pick a Notre Dame game. But we got a lot of fun stuff to pick. There's a lot of good, fun, dumb football to have. So, Eddie, why don't you go ahead and lead us off, sir?
We may not have any food crimes tonight, but let's go, baby.
All righty, let's bring up that beautiful board. And you will see our records there. Now me 2-9, Eddie 4-7 with the saddest 2-game lead of all time. God bless. let's see if we can undo the damage here. We're going to start off with a little Friday night football. Thankfully, there's no Thursday night slots with the NFL tonight, so we're not missing any fun tonight. But we're going to give you a little action for tomorrow. Marshall heads over to Boise State, who is now ranked number 24. They are a 12-point favorite at home. The total of this one is 57. Eddie, is Murder Smurf back? Who you taking?
I don't think they're back as much as hilarious Seminole failure is back. I think we all enjoyed that Boise comeback, but I'm not necessarily sure that that was all because of Boise as much as it was just Florida State fucking up over and over again. I will say they answered kind of their biggest question of the year is their young quarterback going to be able to get the job done? Came out and dropped 400 yards. That's not bad. The thing that scares me here is, one, I think you've got Boise possibly in a letdown situation. They're not going to care that much about Marshall. You're coming off this huge upset. 12 points is a decent-sized spread. There's also, you know me, I like looking at the ticket disparity.
As always.
Right now, and we have the benefit, we're now on a Thursday. A few more tickets are coming in, and this is for a Friday kick. 70% of the bets are on Boise, but only 58% of the money.
That's interesting. Very interesting.
That's a lot of public on the old Murder Smurfs. So I'm going to take Marshall to cover here. Marshall came out, put up like 54 points on VMI. Obviously not an impressive school, but they know how to score points. I think that Marshall can do enough to keep this somewhat close, but I expect Boise still wins.
Well, I'm going to go with the public on this one. I'm going to go with Boise. I like what they showed against Florida State. Really like Bachmeier, who I did not mention in the recap because my brain was so fried from Notre Dame football. Has the best brother's name of all time, like Buck, Bear, Tiger, Lions, oh my, or whatever it is. I really like what he showed, and I think in the first home game, I'm not looking for much of a letdown here because, man, you put 100+ plays out there. I think you're ready to go when you're the one that's not slowing down. Marshall, I have no real take on him. Like you said, they really didn't play much of an opponent in week one. But I'm going to go ahead and ride that Murder Smurf train. So I'll go with the public here. I'll take lay the 12. Well,
I will say I just realized that in my notes I had myself taking Boise and talked myself out of it just in this mere few seconds. So that's the kind of confidence and planning that we're coming into for this podcast, kids.
Or a man has principles and he does not like playing against the public. And that
I don't like playing with the public.
Oh, right,
I did
that's
try
right.
that last week.
Yeah,
I tried that last week and it did not work well.
On Notre Dame, no less. All right, well, let's move to Saturday, where Michigan is hosting Army, and Michigan is favored by 22 points. The total of this one is 47.5. Now, Army, they burned me pretty hard against Rice because I was expecting big things and Rice being garbage, and then that turned into an absolute slop game. Army got the lead, happy to sit on it. Rice just ineffective doing anything. Father Stone Ramblers in the chat is going to be driving Ubers around while playing the Army fight song and the Rudy soundtrack. So I appreciate the trolling effort, sir. Please don't get yourself killed. We'd love to see you back in chat again after this.
I was going to say, Michigan fans are terrible people, so please don't get killed, but I respect the troll.
It is quite beautiful. I absolutely respect the troll, but there's no way I'm going to take a Michigan on a 22-point spread. Army? Are you insane? Also, I got other family here. Fuck Michigan. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that? The audio cut out a little bit.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Fuck Michigan. Oh, okay. Was that better? That better?
Bless you.
Oh, okay.
That's better.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Army to cover in this one, and maybe a little sprinkle on that money line because we saw what happened last time. They faced a top 10 team in week 2. Let's see if I don't think this one will end up on Twitch, but I'm expecting some weirdness. Who do you got, Eddie?
You ended where I was going to start. First off, we fuck Michigan. That's just how we live our lives. Second, we're going to sprinkle a little on that money line. I, like you, was on Army last week. I was expecting a beatdown of Rice. The thing is, though, Army played the exact game we expected against Rice. They got up, they took the air out of the ball, they turned it into a complete rock fight, didn't let Rice score at all, and just wasted clock. Now, I think we all expected a few more points out of Army on that, but that's the same game plan. Meanwhile, the thing that you didn't mention, Michigan did not look good against Middle Tennessee State.
Oh, especially right out the gate.
No, Mitsu jumped out to the 7-point lead. They missed their line by about 2 touchdowns as well. I'm still not particularly impressed with anything that Michigan's doing on offense. I definitely don't think their defense is going to be able to contain the option of Army. I think Army will easily be able to cover the 22. I'm with you on sprinkling a little bit because this might just come down to who gets the ball last. Because here's the thing. If Army gets the ball with, 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, is Michigan even going to see the ball again?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
That's exactly what happened with Oklahoma.
Exactly. So I think we're going to see a repeat of what we got last year in week 2. Everyone's going to get very, very excited. They may sneak by at the very end, but I think Army's definitely going to come.
All right. Well, next up, we got a blood match, Eddie. Absolute bitter rivalry blood match where Old Dominion is going to head in to Virginia Tech as a 28.5-point dog here. Total of this one, 56. We mentioned this before, Eddie. Who do you got in this one, in this revenge matchup?
I don't think you can call it a rivalry when Old Dominion owns that ass. No, I tell you what, I'm going to take ODU in this one. 28.5, that's too many. That hook might just be enough to get the cover. Yes, it's allegedly a revenge game. Virginia Tech did not look good against BC last week.
Oh, no, they didn't.
That ball game. Boston College was able to beat them. Virginia Tech's offense looked terrible. I don't know if you follow the Key Play on Twitter. He is a long-term Twitter friend.
I do indeed.
Great VodTech blogger. Was just absolutely losing his shit. He wants offensive coordinators fired yesterday. Well, I guess 5 days ago. But their offense looked terrible. I don't know that they can cover 4 touchdowns. I don't trust Virginia Tech to cover 4 touchdowns against anybody. And yeah, allegedly it's a revenge game. Yeah, you're at home. It's an 11 a.m. kick. I haven't seen too many crowds juiced up at 11 a.m. So I'm going to take Old Dominion to cover that 28.5.
I'm right there with you. I'm taking ODU. I get the distinct feeling that something stinks over in Virginia Tech. I mean, before the season even start, we're hearing about that everybody was disgruntled. It was almost a Louisville storyline, except, it was the coach is still there. Now, the story fed was that, okay, all of the disgruntled employees have now left the building. It is now Fuente's culture. Everybody's on board. They got turkey bacon at the training table now. Everybody's great. Everybody's happy. And then you go against BC, who I'm not expecting to score many points against anybody this season, and you just lay an egg. It was ugly. It was just flat out ugly, that game. And not only that, this is Bud Foster's last season. This is his retirement tour. And the thing he's known for, his defense, coughs up that many points to BC and looks that bad. Man, this spells all kinds of disaster. I don't know if ODU is going to pull off the repeat here. Would be hilarious if they do. But yeah, 4 plus the hook. No, 4 TDs plus the hook. It's not happening. I'm going ODU. Next up, we got number 5 Ohio State hosting Cincinnati. A little bit of a Ohio pseudo rivalry here. 16-point favorite is Ohio State at home. Total on this one 53. And I tell you what, Cincinnati looked somewhat decent in the opener on Thursday, and UCLA also looked really, really bad in that one. I think that's also the complementary storyline here. Now, it should bear to mention that Ohio State failed to cover against Kiffin. Kiffin woke the offense up, managed to hold on just enough. Ohio State never really pulled away. So, man, in this one, Cincinnati looks like they got a functional offense right now. And spelt a little bit differently, but Ritter looks pretty good. So I think maybe they're just going to hang around close enough. I think Day maybe still has a little chance to get his feet wet. I mean, we're talking about, it's technically a 2-possession spread here. That's two TDs and two points right now. So I might as well call this a 3 possession game. Don't know if Ohio State can pull that out. Think Cincinnati will still be up for trying to move some momentum going. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Bearcats and the dog here. I'm worried. I'm taking 3 road dogs in a row. This ends well. Who you got, Eddie?
Well, shit. I don't like the fact that we're going to be paired up again, but I'm also on the Bearcats. We're screwed. If any of you are listening, a parlay against Ryan and I is probably not a terrible plan.
But the problem is you have to bet Michigan if you do that.
And that makes you an asshole.
Absolutely.
But, well, there's no feelings when it comes to money. I would still respect the play just because it's fading us. But when we get back to this game, like you said, Ohio State couldn't cover against Kiffy-Kims. Cincinnati with a solid win over UCLA. Obviously, UCLA might still be kind of in shambles, and maybe the Chip Kelly rematch tour is not going to be what we all thought it could be.
It's not looking so good right now, not going to lie.
But Cincinnati had a great year last year. I think they're a very solid team. And one thing that you didn't mention, Luke Fickell obviously knows Ohio State very well.
Oh, I forgot about that little side play there.
Spent a lot of time at Ohio State, so yes, okay, Ryan Day is a new head coach. I think we all know that he's running the exact same shit that Urban's been running for the last 10 years. Luke Fickell knows what he's going to be seeing a lot, I think. And so, like you said, Ohio State should win this. I don't think that's in doubt. But I think Cincy can do enough to keep this one close.
All right, so we're simpatico for all but the opening pick right now. Let's see what happens here, because this is one of the big games of the week. We got 2 big marquee top 25 matchups, and the first one is in the middle of the afternoon. Number 1 Clemson hosting the Fighting Aggies of Texas A&M, who is ranked number 12. Clemson, in a top 15 game, is a 17-point favorite with the total set at 64.5. Who do you got in this one, Eddie?
Texas A&M being ranked number 12 is ridiculous. That ain't gonna hold. I'm sorry, this team's not that good. Both teams are coming off of blowouts of their week 1 opponents, and to the Ags' credit, they probably gave Clemson the toughest game they saw all year last year. But you have to temper that with the fact that only maybe a quarter and a half of that involved Trevor Lawrence making his very first start on the road at a very tough place to play in Kyle Field. It's a very different Clemson that they're going to be seeing, I think. And even when Trevor Lawrence did come in, he played pretty well against A&M last year. What solidifies this as a Clemson pick for me is not only do I think Clemson is far and away the best team in the country, the Aggies started talking shit.
Wait, hold on. Aggie's talking shit. I don't know what you could possibly be talking about, Eddie.
I know. Please to clutch your pearls. An unprecedented event has happened. Their left tackle came out and guaranteed a win.
Oh God!
And my God,
no.
Like maybe if you're at home, you can get cute and try that shit.
Oh no!
Going to fake Death Valley and saying that shit, that doesn't seem like a great idea.
So that's a very bad plan.
The other thing that I really enjoy, again, we're only on Thursday, but this had by far the most tickets on it that anything on the site had. 76% of bets and 83% of the money is on A&M.
How?
Folks, they don't make those casinos tall and shiny for nothing. I'm going to ride with Clemson.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I may have spoiled my pick there by my reaction to that last little stat, because look, I am very well known that I cheer for the Aggies, even though I have some mixed feelings about Jimbo being there and about Elko being swiped. But the thing is, there's a reason on a game like you said, Eddie. There's a reason it's 17 points, even though that this is supposed to be a marquee top team matchup. And look, I have been there when, I don't know, Clemson, maybe I was at a game where Clemson was playing a team in the top 5, and it got pretty ugly pretty quick because there was a clear talent disparity, and it was very clear that Trevor Lawrence was a superior quarterback to the other quarterback, and the defensive line of Clemson was really, really damn good, and it didn't seem who they subbed out. They could still whip an offensive line's ass. And this, I feel bad for all my Aggie friends. I really do. I'm going to be cheering against what I feel is the inevitable. Don't get me wrong, but there's a reason this total is around the 60s, and it ain't because Texas A&M is going to keep it close. This is going to get ugly. I really fear that. Kellen Mond, I'm sorry, he has not impressed me in big games to be able to pull off the upset. Johnny Football ain't walking through that door anytime soon. Clemson is way too stacked on the D line. It is going to be in Death Valley. It's going to be in the middle afternoon. It's going to be hot. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be miserable. And Clemson is going to make this just an absolute drumming by the time we get to the fourth quarter. Again, we're simpatico again, but I just can't take the Aggies. The only solace I will also have, there's one other point I forgot to make, because we've seen a similar defense try to take on a defensive scheme, take on Clemson. Didn't end so well. Hope your cornerbacks stay healthy all game long, Aggies, but it's going to be bad. All right, well, now that we're past that, we got some morbid curiosity lines, some very, very huge spreads here. And we're going to start with number 2, Alabama, who is a 55 with the hook point favorite against New Mexico State. And this is beautiful. The total is 64.5. And I still may play the under in this one. And roll tide, take Bama to cover. Because I think New Mexico State's just going to get trounced. They're one of the worst teams in the nation. This is, you are paying to go to the slaughter in this one. Bama, they looked a little slow against Duke. I think they've knocked off all the rust. They get to go home. They get to be at home. They get to play somebody they know they can trounce. They're not going to have to try to score in this one. So I've never taken the spread either in a pick like this or in a podcast or gambling or anything, but I am going to do it. I am going to lay 55.5 points here. You going to go with me, Eddie?
Oh yeah, no question. We're rolling tide here. The beauty is we're under the key number. They didn't get to 56.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's a bargain. They're begging us to take Bama. You know what? I'm walking right into that trap. Here's the thing. Bama covered against Duke with a big line, and that was including a scoreless first quarter. Here's something fun. Wazoo beat New Mexico State by 51 last week.
Oh, Lord.
I'm pretty sure Alabama is more than 4.5 points better than Washington State this year.
I mean, we can probably shave a few points with the fact that Leach has a very fuck you, I'm scoring personality, and Saban kind of just doesn't care after a while. So, I don't know.
Saban likes blood. Saban likes covering big lines. I have very little concern about this one because even if Saban decides, okay, he'll be a little bit nice and put in second string guys or third string guys, Tua probably isn't going to play the second half. He's definitely not going to play the fourth quarter. I don't give a shit. Bama's second string, third string is going to be able to score on these guys. Yeah, it's a big line, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. Your real value is probably going to be on a first half bet. I would guess probably a 31-point spread. I haven't looked to see if it's up or not, but Bama first half, I think, is where your real value's at. But I'd still take Bama for the game.
You got me curious what that Bama first half number would look like. I'll look it up while we go to this next pick. We'll time travel a little bit as we got another huge line. This one not nearly as big, but number 3 Georgia taking on the powerhouse that is Murray State. We got another total in the 60s. This one's 61.5, but Georgia favored by only 48 in the hook, and they're on one of the prime numbers there, Eddie.
Staying under the magic number, baby.
Still
value.
So, are we rolling on big spread again here, sir?
Hell yeah. John Morant doesn't have any eligibility left. Chuck Taylor ain't going to help out the Racers here. Murray State's trash. Georgia's going to beat them by $1 billion. Whatever. This is dumb.
This is an incredibly dumb game. Absolutely love these lines. This is so fantastic. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. But I'm right there with you. We're riding or dying through this, Eddie. this is gonna be bad. And look,
as the new Bad Boys trailer came out earlier this week, I guess that's fitting.
I guess so. Yeah.
Sadly, I feel like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence have better chance than we do.
But I mean, look, I played some big numbers last week, and damn near every single one of them cashed. Damn near every single one of those huge numbers cashed. And well, look, folks, this is lopsided. That's just all there is to it. Georgia is. Look, here's what's going to happen. They're going to go out there. They're still going to try to get fresh for Notre Dame, which means they're still going to actually try. Like they're not going to throw the kitchen sink at them, but they're still going to want to use this for good practice because they got a big primetime game coming up in a couple weeks. Similar to what I hope Notre Dame does to Bob Davie and New Mexico, or they hurt New Mexico so bad Bob Davie will feel it all the way in New Mexico, since he will not be traveling there. I'm Rusty. See, I can be petty too. But yeah, I think this is just going to be ugly. And again, begging since it's under 49 with that hook just to take it. So we'll walk right into it again, Eddie.
It's a trap.
We'll do it. And that Bama first half, what our friends at the Action Network say right now, the consensus is 36.5. Do you care to guess what the total is for the first half?
On the Bama game?
Yeah, for the 36.5 Bama spread.
39.
Pretty much 38.5.
Damn. Oh, it's that safety. Yeah, that's what's gonna do it. So that's a little. I mean, that's a little higher than I would have hoped. Obviously, you need to get that 6 score. Well, it's not as much value as I was hoping it would be.
No, not as much. But this is the first.
32.
But that is the first half. I mean, man, I could see 5 touchdowns. I don't know if I could see a field goal or a safety in there. That's one to ponder. Let's see if that doesn't come down by Saturday. All right. Well, we got a few more games to pick, but first we are going to take a short little break, and we'll be right back with the rest of them. And yeah, folks, if you downloaded the podcast, you realize you're just going to hear drums here because Anchor, please match us with a new sponsor. We miss you. Come back or give us somebody else. But for those of you on Twitch, as always, thank you so much. You can always interject yourself by buying some bits. They are pennies that can be thrown our way to interject your thoughts and chat live through text-to-speech here on the show. And of course, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can throw a Prime subscription. You'll actually see something floating to the right side of the screen. That'll remind you to do that as well. And of course, the regular old subs will unlock some emojis and stuff that you can show off on other Twitch channels, because nothing says supporting HLS like throwing a fist-pumping BVG or a purple-faced Brian Kelly in the middle of some kid's Minecraft game. So as always, we thank you all for the support, and we're going to get right back to it. All right, Eddie, we got a handful more games to pick here. We are going to start. This brought me so much joy because it brought other people pain. And in the SEC, that pain just means more. We are talking about Tennessee, who lost to Georgia State. And I enjoyed listening to the Shutdown Full Cast, mostly because Holly reacted exactly like I thought she did. It was like, I can't be hurt anymore by this damn team. But Tennessee somehow, after all of that, is still favored by 3.5 points against BYU at home. Now, there is no earthly way I actually have any kind of confidence that Tennessee is going to bounce back in any way, shape, or form. BYU, yes, they lost to the rival, lost to Utah. They didn't look particularly great, but I think they have just enough to give Tennessee fits. And apparently you don't have to be that good of a team to beat Tennessee anyway. Look, no dissing Georgia State. Hope you have a great season in the Fun Belt. I don't think they're going to be bowl eligible at the end of the day. And that was the home opener. That was week 1. And Tennessee just looked like they quit. If I think something stinks of Virginia Tech, something is fucking dying and rotting over at Tennessee right now. Give me the Cougs. Who do you got, Eddie?
Well, on the flip side of Tennessee's hilarious loss to what I think was a 2-win team last year in Georgia State.
They were a 2-win team.
The fraudulent-ass Mormons got beat to hell by Utah. And the good news is I had bet Utah before we recorded, because when the line came out, I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I talked myself into BYU because of all this dumb shit and bet counts and all this other nonsense. And then they got their asses trounced. But man, Tennessee, like, I realized the final score was only an 8-point deficit. They lost that game by a hell of a lot more. They had a garbage time touchdown at the very end. Georgia State whooped them straight up. There is no chance that I'm trusting Tennessee. It's not going to happen. I can't believe I'm going back to back weeks on fraudulent ass BYU, but that's how bad Tennessee is. That's how little they should be trusted. Everyone assumed that Pruitt is kind of a trash human. Turns out he's probably a trash coach too.
I cannot believe we're agreeing so much. This is either going to be fantastic or just a disaster. God.
I know where I would guess that coin flip.
I have a feeling because I have not yet laid anything down yet. I think I might be changing my mind on some of these games. All right, but let's go to the biggest rivalry hitting the DFW Metroplex. We're going to shout out, I can now say, former guest of the HLS podcast, UNT grad Sean Bass, on this one because he talked about this a couple weeks ago, kids. North Texas heading down into Dallas to take on those ponies. We got a 72.5 point total. Going to be a shootout here, and SMU a 3.5 point favorite. Who are you going with, Eddie, known law school grad of SMU?
Yeah, my undying loyalty for my law school definitely rolls into this pick. I will tell you that before 3 hours ago, I knew literally nothing about either one of these teams. So I did a little research. North Texas returned a decent amount of starters, bunch of guys on offense. Seth Luttrell has done a great job. Everyone was pretty much expecting him to go to Kansas State when the old windbreaker retired, and then somehow that fell through and he stayed there. Had a 9-4 year last year, averaged just under 35 points a game. Then you look over to SMU. 5-7 last year. Yeah, they scored 30 a game, but they gave up 35 a game. And the sad part of that is that's the best their defense has done since 2013.
Ooh.
Then you tack on the fact that they could only beat Arkansas State 37-30 last week. Nah, man. I'll take the mean green here.
Well, Eddie, damn it. I can't even draw you offside with the ponies here. I'm on the mean green as well. I like what Seth Luttrell's done with that team. This is probably going to be his last season there, I would imagine.
Gotta be, right?
It has to. And like in that interview with Sean Bass, he's already resigned himself. And look, they're still returning their quarterback, which is huge, and an offense that really functioned well. And look, he told y'all as well. Sean did. He gave you the breakdown. This defense is pretty bad because what North Texas did to ride in the Sun Belt was their defense was actually somewhat functional. Remember, CUSA stands for Can You Stop Anyone? That's what it was. Can you stop anyone? And that's going to be this game right here. It's going to be a shootout, points in the shootout. I think North Texas will end up edging this one out. I think they have a slight talent advantage over SMU right now as well. So sorry, ponies. Maybe next year. All right, let's go to man. I was debating whether or not to put this one on there but I had to because it was two intriguing storylines for both of these teams, and that's Nevada heading up to Oregon. Nevada is gonna, after a wonderful upset of Purdue at home, they're now gonna go up to Oregon, up in Eugene, where Oregon is going to try to bounce back. Oregon a 24 point favorite, a 61 point total, and I mean, look. On paper, Oregon should be the far superior team. But the thing is, just watching them against Auburn, be able to come out against this, when they had the script, everything was flowing good. And then they had to start game planning and reacting and adjusting. And Mario Cristobal had to apparently learn the rules of football as the game was going on because he didn't know when he could put his starting quarterback back into the game and wasted 2 timeouts with no time coming off the clock. An absolute cluster. I don't trust. I'm starting to lean into the Punkcast is now influencing me on this. Can't trust Cristobal with a high spread. That's way too many points. I'm not sure if I'm going to sprinkle money line on this. We'll see how spicy I feel once we get closer to this kickoff. But man, I just can't trust Oregon with that big of a spread. They proved themselves absolutely unworthy and bad beat the hell out of me when all you had to do was just take the loss and not give up the dumb touchdown, and you did it. And now you want me to trust you to cover 24. Not a chance. Give me Nevada. Go Wolfpack. Who do you got, Eddie?
Couldn't hold for a goddamn field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Fraudulent ass Ducks. They are not to be trusted. They did this to me last year, and I tried to give them a pass. But no, no, they wanted to burn me again. And now look on the other side. We're throwing on the red and black. We're throwing up the too sweet.
Oh, there it
Going
is.
Nevada. They had a fantastic win against Purdue last weekend, escaping one of the worst ref shows I have ever seen in my life, with some of the softest, unsportsmanlike calls I've ever seen.
That was an abomination.
One of them, I rewound it 4 times to try and find what the call was for. I still have no clue what it was for. And then they have a freshman walk-on kicker come out and bang in a 56-yarder that was probably good from 66 at the buzzer to win the game. And he earns himself a scholarship for it. Oh, we're riding with the Wolfpack. We're riding with the Wolfpack all year. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Oh, God. Too much of green, Eddie. We started off normal, and
it's going to be bad, man.
Well, something's got to change soon, right? Well, let's see what happens with a little bit of some more SEC and Fun Belt action here as Tulane goes down to the Plains to take on Auburn, who got that awful, awful bad beat against us. Auburn, 17.5-point favorite at home. Total here is 51.5. Eddie, who do you got?
I do not believe in Auburn Jesus. I still believe this is a Fire Chiswick year. They got gifted a win by Oregon's failure. Yeah, Bo Nix made some good passes in the second half. He still had 2 picks. Still didn't look that great. 17.5 is too many points. Tulane put up 42 last week. Yeah, Auburn had a great comeback, but I feel like a lot of that was just stupidity by Oregon. So I do not trust Auburn to cover this. They're going to win, but especially with that hook on 17, and man, Vegas is just baiting me into these right on the key numbers. Like this could get real.
It's ugly. A trap.
But speaking of Vegas, again, the caveat: it's Thursday. 57% of the tickets are on Auburn. Not surprising. Mm-hmm. Only 26% of the money. So, and Auburn fans are known for throwing cash around. So, somebody knows something, and I'm going to go with the Green Wave here.
Yeah, I think the Sharps are throwing something around here for a reason. Now, look, we also know that me, noted Auburn fan due to family ties here, I picked against Auburn. We all remember this. So I was on the end of that awful bad beat. As happy as I was, Auburn won. Thankfully, the rest of that week going so well for me made me feel a lot better about it. But, apparently they're saying down in the Plains, Eddie, Bo knows 2.0. They found
which is sacrilegious. How goddamn dare they compare Bo Nix's sorry ass to maybe the greatest athlete we have ever seen in Bo Jackson. That offends me, and I don't even give a shit about Auburn.
They jumped off sides harder than the Notre Dame defensive line on Monday.
Oh my God. No, that will not stand. Bo Jackson is a angelic figure in the world of sports. You don't get to just toss that shit around. How dare you? And how dare they? I hope they lose by 30.
Oh, man, I was not expecting that kind of reaction. Anyway, so Auburn apparently has found their quarterback, so they think. The true freshman, he looked like a freshman. He threw a couple interceptions, but he got a couple touchdowns. Apparently, that seems to be good enough for Auburn. It ain't good enough for me because, folks, I've seen this fucking story before. I can't do it. I still can't do it, Auburn. They should not have covered at all.
Come on.
They should not have covered. I cannot believe I thought this one for sure I would be differing on Eddie on, but nope, I'm with the Green Wave as well on this one. There is so much letdown potential here. So much. You win the big game. Your freshman quarterback just made, the outstanding, oh my God, did you see that touchdown pass? If there is not a look down game that's got red sirens and flags all over it, I don't know what else is. This has every making of a freshman playing like a freshman, Auburn fans scratching their heads. they're very Notre Dame like. We have a lot in common, even though we've never played each other, Auburn. We always seem to like to play down to somebody else's level, and we never just can seem to just beat somebody up when we should, much less if you got a freshman quarterback. Don't trust it, can't trust it. And look, if I have to fade Auburn all season and that's going to drive him to glory, great. I'll be happy. That's fine. But no, I ain't picking you. Not going to happen. There is money on the line for children here, and I've already paid enough. I don't want to pay another $100 to Eddie, so I'm agreeing with him here. All right, well, we have a very, very nice primetime matchup here. Number 6, LSU. Number 9, Texas.
Nice.
6, and it's very nice. And it's 6. I almost wish they would have made the hook 6.9. I mean, just lean into it, Vegas. Just do it. I know it's not your typical hook, but you can't get 0.6 points anyway. Anyway.
While Uncle Brent is out there, he's not setting books, so you're not going to get that.
I love that. Anyways, a 6.5 point spread here for LSU on the road. And the total in this one is 56. And, man, I tell you what, I am so nervous about what I'm about to do here because I am also known Texas hater as well, being a fan of Aggies, obviously. I don't think Texas is going to be fully back in terms of they're going to pull a Sugar Bowl here. Look, they are at home. Yeah, they had a nice win against a corpse last week. They showed they have a functional offense. I think that will come in handy. I think Ellinger's going to be more than serviceable. And LSU, look, Joe Burrow also played very well against a corpse of a team. But if you're going to ask me whether or not I'm going to trust Joe Burrow to be able to cover a touchdown spread in a big game, or I can actually assume that Texas is going to be able to make it interesting and keep it within a touchdown, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to regret this, but give me the horns. Who do you got, Eddie?
Tom Herman is an underdog. That's where we throw our cash. When Herman's getting points, the bettors all rejoice because Tom Herman is an underdog.
Oh my God.
Free money. Free money.
I forgot about that very key point too.
Yeah, I told you I had a song in the bag for you.
You were not joking.
Tom Herman as an underdog. Do you know what his record is as a head coach against the spread?
His record against the spread, because I remember this being mentioned last season. Has he like only lost twice or something insane like that?
13-2-1 against the spread.
Jesus.
And you know what he did to prepare for Louisiana State?
I do not.
He knew he had that big old crawfish etouffee coming in this week. So he had himself a nice little cup of gumbo with La Tech last week and beat the shit out of him. I'm never betting against Tom Herman as an underdog. It's free money. Let's go.
Well, okay, maybe I won't regret this as much. Okay, so Jesus. We've only disagreed on one game so far. I don't know where we're...
What, the Friday night game? Is that all we've got?
That's it so far. We are simpatico on the entire Saturday night slate. So let's see what we do at Pac-12 After Dark. The battle of the backup quarterbacks. The total of this game is at 45 for that reason. And at one point, depending on what line you looked at, you may have seen either team initially favored in this one. Stanford, now ranked number 23. Southern Cal, still unranked. They are at home. And they are the huge 1 point favorite in this one. Eddie, very interested to hear your thoughts on this garbage matchup.
Bet the goddamn mortgage on the under if you still can. I try. So the news came out about, I'd been home for a little bit. It was about 7 o'clock, I think, that the news came out that KJ Costello is out, which isn't a surprise, which that might be. I think we've all had plenty of calls where targeting has been called and we've been angry. Several have come against Notre Dame players. When KJ Costello took the forearm shiver to the dome 3 seconds after he had slid, I know I had tweeted out, well, that Northwestern guy's gone. A bunch of other people tweeted out, oh, yeah, that dude's done.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they not throw the flag for targeting, they didn't even review it.
Nope. Sure didn't.
That was one of the worst calls I've seen in my life. If that's not targeting, then I definitely don't know what the hell is. But so Costello's officially out. Both teams are on backup quarterbacks. Oh God, just bet your mortgage on the under and then run away because that's all that matters. Stanford obviously destroyed me with a montage level bad beat on that scoop and score. No one's got a quarterback. When it comes to Southern Cal, Slovis came in, went 6-8. He did throw a pick, but he was throwing decent balls. And he still has weapons, whereas Stanford, I don't think has anything on the offensive end. At least Clovis can just chuck it up, or Slovis can chuck it up and hope that the Pharaoh goes and catches it. I hate both teams. Obviously, my hatred for SC runs far, far deeper. But between some more weapons at home, which they might get half the stadium filled for this one if they're lucky, and currently, and who knows if any of these bets are going to hold, because again, the announcement just came out about Costello late today.
It's off the board at Bovada completely.
Yeah, up until today, with a decent amount of tickets on it already, 76% of bets and 71% of money were on Stanford. My guess, when it comes back on the board, I would think that maybe you move up to SC -3. I wouldn't expect a ton of movement because KJ Costello is not exactly a world beater. I don't think anyone was too scared of him. I'm going to pick Southern Cal, which I hate
you
doing
so much.
If anything else, it might get us some disparity on a pick for once.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, God bless America.
And as soon as you started talking about Slovis, I'm like, damn it, he's going exactly where I am. Because that's what I mean. I watched the entire game against Fresno, and the main takeaway I had
should have lost. Oh, they should have lost that game.
But beside there was two takeaways I had. One was Fresno. Jesus Christ, you had every opportunity to take the game over, and you just couldn't do it. The other takeaway, I was like, damn, that Slovis kid's really good. Now, Stanford's backup QB situation, I have no idea what it is. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have a good feeling it's not quite KJ Costello. And like you said, Eddie, there's a big skill position weapons disparity here. And one thing that SC was able to do somewhat against Fresno State. Now, Fresno shot themselves in the foot, but their defense was able to keep some things in front of them. So it's not like Stanford's going to be able to run all over them. I have no idea. This is like a Shaw's wet dream right now because basically this game's going to be played in between the 30-yard lines for the majority of the game, I feel. I really don't know how many trips to the red zone we're going to see by either side. I really am going to be interested to see where the under lands if it does come back on the board. Because if it's anywhere close to 45, damn, this thing could be like 42, and I'd still consider taking it highly.
I would not be surprised at all if we get into the 30s.
I wouldn't either. That's the only thing that would scare me away.
What's the lowest number you would still take the under? Because like anything down to 35, I think I'm still good.
I think 38 might be where I'm getting a little bit scared. I get more spicy with my overs than I get my unders because
that's fair.
Because in college football, I feel like there's a lot more that can go wrong that leads to points than there's a lot more that can go wrong that doesn't lead to anybody scoring. Northwestern
overtime alone.
Yeah, overtime alone could do it, which, God, that would be the most depressing way to lose this under, would be if this game is 0-0 going into overtimes, and they have like 7 OTs of stupidity, and they cover.
I have lost a game that went to OT at 28 points combined. The over-under was like 52, and they just blew up in overtime.
God. All right, yeah, but I'm on Southern Cal as well. This might as well be a pick 'em. I really do think SC is going to end up winning this. They're at home. Not that they have a huge home field advantage, but they're at home. Stanford is going to be in a serious. I wouldn't even know what that team is when KJ Costello is at QB, because that first half against Northwestern when he was playing, they look like garbage against Northwestern. And yeah, SC is going to be able to put up a little bit more of a fight than Northwestern did. Or put up a little bit more of a fight on offense than Northwestern did. Excuse me. I need to be very clear about that. Because as bad as Stanford looked in that game, even when Costello was in, dear God, Northwestern looked far worse. And once Costello went out, They got nothing going. Shaw's like, whatever, we got the lead. We're just going to sit on it. So I just don't expect much to happen. This is going to be primo Pac-12 after dark. I actually cannot wait for this. I'm looking forward to it. But there you go.
I'm hoping I get back from LSU, Texas, fairly inebriated, and this game is just a gong show.
Oh my gosh, it will be. All right, so Eddie, we had 11 picks. We agreed on 10 of them.
I'm looking forward to teasing the 10 against us, parlaying the 10 against us.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, we've never done this. I think in the we've done this for like 3 or 4 years. We have never agreed this much on a slate of games than in this week. This is extremely scary. I thought for sure your SC hatred was going to actually lean you to the trees. Thought for sure.
I was thinking the same for you. I thought somewhere along. I thought you would take Auburn. I thought you'd. There were so many options, but no. Here we stand, my friend.
Here we stand.
Holding hands in front of the gates of hell.
All right, well, folks, that is going to do it for us in the picks. But of course, we have to let Eddie lead us on out into a college football weekend.
Children, we have enjoyed one win. As my microphone falls down, maybe we didn't enjoy it, but it was a win. And wins are always more enjoyable than losses. It wasn't South Florida, and we're not Tennessee. So, hey, life could be worse. Yeah, we lost our starting running back. That's not great. Sure, we can't stop the run, and we're going up against a team who's going to be very, very good at running the ball in a couple weeks. Let's worry about that later. Future us will figure that out. Let's enjoy a week off. Ryan and Shane and Jess told you about all sorts of food crimes you could do. I guess do those. Have some beverages. Enjoy some football. Maybe shenanigans happen. That's the beauty of college football. Shenanigans are always around the corner. And at least you don't have to watch Stanford SC. Don't watch that game. Bet everything you own on the under, but don't watch that game. It's going to be very bad.
I'm watching it every second of it.
Ryan hates good things. And that's why he has me on this podcast and talks to all of you. I love you all. Good night. Go Irish. And hail Gambler.
Oh, all right, folks. That is going to do it for us. As always, thank you for all of you that joined us live over on twitch.tv/HerLoyalSons. And, of course, for the podcast, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts at. Join us in Discord. That is our live chat channel, herloyalsons.com/Discord. And, of course, you can always find us at our home at herloyalsons.com. Till next time, guys, enjoy your hot dog bye week. Go Irish. Have a good one.